the year I wrote Lost on You, I thought I dubbed that as like the worst year of my life because I had a huge breakup. I was dumped by my label and all this stuff, and then I realized it was one of the better years of my life because I wrote a song that changed my life.
Hey,
What's up, kid?
everything's fine.
Okay.
How's been your lockdown?
Everything's been okay. I mean, we're like, it's just me and my dog. Oh, yeah, show him to you. There you go. He's been good. Orson, look up there.
It's
Look
amazing.
in the
It's
camera.
cute.
So yeah, just
How
me and him and my partner Lauren hanging out. It's been nice. But sad times up in America.
Yeah.
It's it's a culmination of too much sad time for many people, and hopefully everything that's been going on is going to be leading to the change we so need to happen.
Yeah. I mean, you always have made a music and songs talking about diversity. Has been one of the main topics, and now more than ever looks important to talk about diversity, but more to talk about is to embrace the diversity.
Yeah. Because I mean, I don't know about you, but I mean, wouldn't you be really bored if it was just a bunch of dudes that looked exactly like you all over the world? Like that's all. And you walked out of your house, it was just you like looking in a mirror everywhere. I don't want to see that. I don't want to know that. I think and it's interesting that some people would prefer to almost like keep things that way. I don't. I think we are, at a real breaking point in so many ways. We've like just been abusing our planet, the system, each other for so long that we don't even. We've gotten desensitized, in so many ways. I mean, people talk about that all the time. So it's never a better time to become sensitive again and acknowledge that and act on it.
Yeah, totally. And you've been very active during this quarantine. I mean, you released that song with Jimena Sariñana,
Yeah,
Girls Go
yeah.
Wild,
Yeah,
and then
she's so great. Yeah.
and then the Moscow album.
Yeah, I mean, that was everyone's asked me like when I actually thought that was going to come out, and I don't really know when we were going to put it out. I didn't forget about it, but my main concern was really going on tour this year and working on my new record, new songs. So but then we found ourselves home and with not being able to tour, so it just made sense to put out a live album. And we had a few candidates, but this one just sounded really good, and we had a little bit of video to it, which is cool. So it's nice.
And how about that experience in Russia?
Oh, it's incredible. I mean, I love Russia. I love going there. I love the people there. They're lovely people, and passionate, and I mean, they're like us. I get to see the really beautiful side of people coming to a show of mine to commune because they like my music. I feel like it's quite apparent that just from hanging out and going out there and talking to people that we have the same needs, and that's like just it's universal. So I feel like Moscow, I hope that if people see me playing in Moscow or see the title, they're like inspired to go there maybe someday and check it out for themselves.
Yeah. I've been there and it's amazing.
It is, right? I know.
Yeah,
It's kind of like when I try to explain when I try to explain Mexico City and Mexico, how much I love it, like where it's just like the vibe there is just, I mean,
Yeah,
Moscow is just like a cultural, mecca. It's just, it's got so much. It's less rife with culture and arts and history. It's really, it's a very deep experience going there.
yeah, totally. I must confess that I'm very thrilled to talk with you because
Well,
uh,
thanks.
I know I know your history, and uh, I know that you were about to give up in some time, in some
Yeah,
moment in your career. You were
aren't we
about
all
to give up. Yeah,
about
yeah,
to give
yeah.
up at any time? It's like
And suddenly something changed, and
yeah,
I want to talk about it because this has been a very difficult period for a lot of people.
yeah,
There's a lot of people who maybe are closing business and are losing their jobs, and maybe
yeah,
are facing that sense of giving up in their own projects, in their passion projects.
yeah.
And I want to ask you if you can share with us how was the process for you, in order that maybe someone who's watching this interview could be get that little bit of inspiration from you.
I mean, I remember, because I've told this story many times, but "Lost on You," which was a big song and a big, kind of entry into a lot of people's knowledge and lives. Like as far as a song goes, it like helped me. It like was the pinprick into the bubble, to like
Yeah.
to get in there and. I played that song for my major label at the time, and that was at that time, that was like, I mean, I think my fourth major label deal or something like that, like maybe my like sixth record deal or something. And, I played them that song and two others that were like, did well for me. And I was dropped from the label, and so I was just like, all right, I mean, I just played them like the best stuff I have right now. I've been doing this, for a minute. This is like my fourth record deal. Maybe should give up. Maybe I should go back to school, do something. I don't know. And I just kind of decided, like, I just kept saying to myself, like meditation, or like when I do yoga, which is a meditation for me, and just like, I just kept going right now, right now, right now. Just deal with right now. This is spiritual leader that I read off and on. His name is Osho, Osho, and he talks about the unknown and embracing the unknown. And I mean, if this isn't a version of embracing the unknown, I don't know what is, because we are the most collectively unsure of what's next, maybe that we've ever been, as far as like um, to our knowledge, because we're more connected than any civilization yet, on this planet. So like, we're all. I think that was the biggest thing going into this whole pandemic, that we were all like, oh my gosh, I really don't know what's going to happen. Like, I don't know if my business is going to be there when I don't know if I'm going to get this and I'm going to die, whatever, So I feel like, but this tenet is like, embracing the unknown and really believing in that you can only not even conjure up like what's in store for you in a good way too. I mean, because we get very like, oh my God, something bad's gonna happen. But if we just give ourselves over to the unknown and just say like, well, here we go, like let's just deal with right now. And then sometimes like what happened to me, just kind of something that was way beyond my wildest imagination. And I think the less confines we put on our future, and just deal with the work at hand, just from like, being kind to someone to, voting to get better laws put through to protect, you know, um, people that need it, everything. It's just like, I think we just got really out of touch with ourselves. So I think that, if we kind of, don't get too attached to the future and deal with our present right now, maybe something good.
Yeah, I heard some phrase that you said. I guess it was with uh, Marta de Baile, I guess.
Oh yeah, Martha, I
They say
love
that
her.
maybe,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
And they said it was a bit of talent, a bit of luck, a bit of work. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
and I think yeah, you need to be working. You need to stay there,
Yeah.
and you need that kind of luck, which is very little luck. That everything that you need, yeah, almost as long as you have that passion for doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, and sometimes the days get really, like I mean, I'm more sad, about the racial inequality in this country than I am about the coronavirus right now. For me,
Yeah,
it's because I'm, fortunate enough not to be directly affected right now with someone in my life suffering from that. But it just makes me feel overwhelmed, at times, helpless at times, but also, we got to keep, moving forward. So um, I think, you know, baby steps and as big a step as you can take. For me, writing songs plays into it a lot. I try to, you know, concentrate on that and and be writing them and putting them away for what's next, but not thinking about what's next. Like try like even with songs, you know, people would ask me like about certain songs and be like, "Oh, you must have known that this was going to be a hit or something like that." I was like, "No, I didn't." I write it and I put it away, and then I start writing another song. It was the most freeing thing that ever happened to me. I remember, when I was younger and I was like always writing a song and always thinking, "This is the one. This is the one. No, this is the one." And it would never be the one. And as soon as I stopped doing that and just wrote song after song, it was very freeing. And I think it was like a metaphor for my life. Just like keep doing it, and then suddenly you're like 50 songs away from like this one song that changes your life. And you don't even know the roots you're putting down. The year I wrote "Lost on You," um, I thought I dubbed that as like the worst year of my life because I had a huge breakup. I was dumped by my label and all this stuff, and then I realized it was one of the better years of my life because I wrote a song that changed my life. So right now, 2020, people might be marking that as the worst year of, you know, in I don't know how long. People love to like bust on the year that just happened, but I do think that there's a lot of it's a very fertile year. It's like a lot of very important things are being started this year that are going to make life, I hope and I think, better in the future. So,
yeah, and it's sparking a very interesting conversations and very needed conversations about
yeah,
diversity,
yeah,
about realizing that the most important jobs that doctors, nurses, drivers, that the trucker
yeah.
drivers that bring us the food and all that we have never seen like that before, you
Yeah,
know.
we
And
that they're very important, and we need these people. And like, just because someone's not like at the forefront of your mind or like on screen in front of you on a TV doesn't mean they're not doing things. It doesn't mean that you're not doing things. I think people that lose hope, they have to like try to find in themselves their purpose and not put, again, I'll make it about songs. Not you don't put too much on the song. Don't like it's like a child, you know what I mean? Don't like you don't I'm not telling someone to raise their child, but and I don't want to have a child and I probably shouldn't have a child. So I'll just tell you what I would uh think I would want to do with my child. I wouldn't want to put anything on them like you're gonna be this, you're gonna be that. Like I felt like, my father put, I want you to be a doctor, you're gonna be a doctor, and I was like, sure, okay. And then I was like, fuck you, I'm being a musician, like, and and I think that you can't put expectations on things that are happening right now. Try to do them, make them, create them, and then put it off in the world with the best intentions, and then move on and keep doing stuff. It's a moving game.
that's great. Well, I guess the time is up, but I really want to thank you for this time,
Thanks.
for this chat. It has been a
Francisco,
pleasure.
thank you so much. Yeah, you too, man. I hope I get to meet you someday soon.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
All right.
And
Thank you so
stay
much.
safe. Take care.
You too. You be well. I'll see you soon. Bye.
See you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.